He's talented, he's charming, he's one of our favorite leading men from across the pond. Please welcome Hugh Grant. You look great, Hugh.
Well, that's not true, but
no,
thank
it
you.
is true. You look great.
I'm wearing my, I just realized before I came on, I'm wearing my special dandruff jacket.
What do you mean dandruff? You don't look like you have dandruff.
So I think it's rather nice, but I went on TV in London the other day, and Twitter afterwards said, look at his dandruff. I just want you to know, it's not dandruff, it's the tree.
It's the pattern.
Yeah. You know, as I'm seeing it, when they, see, from far away, it can resemble, yes.
Yeah,
oh, look at that.
But that is that'd be an extreme case of dandruff right there. But you know, good morning to you. And we know you don't love morning. So how you holding up by being here so early?
Well, very badly, thank you. Yeah, it's getting worse. Most mornings I pretty much have to be resuscitated by a team of doctors. Or a child now. I seem to have a lot of children suddenly, and
suddenly, is it 3 kids now?
I have 3 children. Yeah. And some
sure
mornings one just appears in my bed, you know, wanting to. There's a routine with one of them likes to call the fire brigade first thing in the morning. Gets into my bed, gets the bedside phone, and goes fire, fire. It's alarming if you actually do get through to someone.
I like the way you said fire brigade. And did you know that yesterday we discovered there was a poll that the British accent is the #1 sexiest accent in the world as voted by the world. Does that make you feel even sexier now? Is that why you threw the word fire brigade out there?
Not only that, in one of the articles it said you can blame Hugh Grant for all of your movies that you've done too for being #1.
That's right.
Like he gave you some credit.
Well, I've achieved something. I thought I'd achieved nothing. No, that's very nice. But I mean, we have a lot of accents, you know.
Yeah.
If I talk to you like that, like a London accent, that's not that sexy, is it?
Well, no, not with the helium voice, it's not.
Yeah.
But we can all agree that the sexiness is what led you to have these kids. You were just dripping with sexiness. Right?
Well, I'm not entirely sure how it did happen. My nephews gave me a little booklet for Christmas called How Babies Are Made.
Oh, my God. I'd like to get a copy of that.
Yeah.
Now, I know one thing that you do, which I love going to these things, race cars. You race cars now. I love races. Now, how many races have you done so far, and how have you been? Have you been successful?
I did. I had a lot of training, and then I finally plucked up my courage. I did my first little series of races in Sweden last year, and I came last, second last, and miles last. Yeah.
Well, that's good, though, because that way you're safe and you have 3 babies that you need to not crash your car.
Yeah, you would think that.
Yeah.
But I still managed to crash quite badly. It's an extraordinary sport. It's basically half an hour of middle-aged men trying to kill each other. And,
Well, how fast are you going?
well, pretty fast down the straight. It's about 170 miles an hour or something.
Oh, wow.
And you're so miserable while you're doing it. You're strapped in, everything hurts, your sweat is pouring off you. You're thinking, why am I doing this? He's trying to kill me. And then you get out at the end and feel kind of manly. It's very strange.
I can't believe these Hollywood film companies allow you to do that. Do they know that you do that? Are they finding out now that you're doing this?
Well, you see, I'm not really in show business very much anymore. It's true, I do mainly politics, mad political campaigning in Britain. And so this feels like a nice release, actually. In fact, it feels rather like the campaigning, which is people trying to kill each other.
Right. How about that?
Yeah.
We have to take a commercial break. We don't want to. We have to.
No, very well.
His new film, The Rewrite, where he plays a Hollywood screenwriter turned professor.
Well, you, Grant, star of The Rewrite, and you play a Hollywood screenwriter, but you're in your third act of your life. And but tell us about this film.
Yes, I play a Hollywood screenwriter who was very successful, won an Oscar, and at the beginning of this film, his career is a disaster. He can't get any work, so he accepts, very reluctantly and miserably, a job teaching screenwriting in a very obscure university in the middle of absolutely nowhere. He has a terrible attitude to the job, and he just gets drunk, and he's rude to the other professors, and he has sex with one of his students, shocking, and then... And then he finds he actually quite likes it, and in particular he likes one of his...
the student?
Well, he does like that, but he finds he likes even more. There's a mature student in his class, played by the great Marissa Tomei, who's a kind of single mum working her way through college, and that starts to happen. So it's about a man who thinks he's lost, and then he's not lost.
It sounds like a great story, and I love Marissa Tomei, by the way.
Yes, yes, I love her too.
Yeah, yeah.
She's not... you know, she's a brilliant, Oscar-winning actress.
Yeah.
Very method, you know. She's deep in character, months and months before the film.
Is that true?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
no kidding.
And I'm still wondering what my character is here.
Right.
You know,
Page 1.
Yes, exactly.
Let's see.
Yeah.
But we're going to take a look at a clip now. In this clip, after getting off to a poor start with your colleague, played by Allison Janney.
Yes, she's a professor of English who specialises in Jane Austen, very buttoned up. And I'm rude to her at a drinks party, and so I go to apologise.
Okay, you try to get smooth things over with her. Here we go. You, Grant, in The Rewrite.
These are DVDs of every Jane Austen novel, including my favourite, Clueless, with Alicia Silverstone.
What is Clueless?
Oh, I think you'll like it. It's based on Emma, a big hit spun off into a mildly successful series. Also, a gift certificate from Amazon covering all the following items. My personal favourite is the What Would Jane Do tote bag.
Mr. Michaels,
Thank you.
this is the finest public university in the Northeast.
Yes, I understand.
We expect a degree of professionalism even from a non-professional.
Yes, of course.
Which means that you behave at faculty events. You read the material that has been submitted to you. You do not dismiss your class for a month.
Oh.
Yes, I heard about that. But I want to be fair and act without pride or prejudice, if you'll forgive the reference.
No, I very much enjoyed it. It was good.
That sounds like a great class to take. Dismissed for a month? Perfect
Yes,
for me.
yes. No, he's really appalling to begin with, but he gets nicer.
Yeah,
he gets better. Yeah.
Well, it's The Rewrite. It's available video on demand and in theaters on Friday, so make